everybody, welcome to Together in Style, a show about celebrating life in style, and this is another wedding edition, and today we're going to be talking about the wedding ceremony.
The wedding ceremony. This is such a special and sacred time during the wedding experience. And people are planning, very unique ceremonies. Some of them will be, held indoors. Some of them will be held outdoors. People have different traditions, different religions. So this is a big deal. So it's important to find out, the different restrictions that may, happen in some of the places.
It is. That's one of those things that we see overlooked once in a while where the couple isn't aware that maybe a church or a synagogue or another location might have restrictions on photography and video, and you don't want to be left up to surprise that day if you find out that there are restrictions that keep you from getting the angles that you'd like to see.
Absolutely. I mean, everybody realizes that you need to be respectful during these moments. I mean, this is
very important.
Doubt, your ceremony, but there are probably things and moments that you expect. So you should, take a moment or two to kind of determine what it is that you're going to have to advise your photographer or filmmaker, or what you need to do to have those solutions to get everything that you're envisioning for your ceremony.
And that brings me to another point. There's all different types of photographers, all different types of filmmakers with different attitudes, different ideas of what's right and wrong.
Sure.
Right? So that brings me to this question. There are some questions you might want to ask your artist. How do they work the ceremony? Do they work it unobtrusively? Do they work from the very back of the ceremony and use longer lenses to zoom down? Or do they set up a tripod in the very front of the church in the center of the aisle, which is something that I'm so against because we don't need to. The tools are out there to do it unobtrusively.
It's very true. You're right, Charles. I mean, there are many times where, you can just, float around the ceremony in a way that's very unobtrusive and capture incredible moments of not only the couple, but also maybe the parents looking on, the groomsmen. So there's so many different angles. And it's definitely smart to find, an artist that is going to draw the attention with your guests to you guys and not to them as they're doing their jobs. So, those are those little things that you should think about while you're, selecting who you're going to have and about what you're going to have for your ceremony.
Absolutely. And, beyond the logistics of restrictions and things of that nature, there's some things that you can do to make your vows very personalized and to enhance your wedding experience, the meaning behind it, and your wedding film at the end of the day.
I have to tell you that every single time a couple does this, you can't help but to, hold back a tear. And then anytime anybody sees it or they receive this moment, it's just amazing to hear the words of what somebody is professing their love to you in public and, at your wedding ceremony. So if you can personalize it and actually write your vows, or even just say a little poem or write a letter to somebody, your significant other that day, it's just so much more special.
It's special, and it's a great thing when you can add that into your wedding motion picture. It adds so much emotion. You cry every time you watch it when you do it that way. So the other great thing you can do with your wedding ceremony is it's a great way to include distant aunts or uncles or friends and have them as speakers, and that way they're included in the wedding.
Oh, you can have them as speakers. You can have them as a ring bearer or flower girl, or maybe the people that are passing out, the programs, or even you can have somebody perform your ceremony that might be very close to you. So there's a lot of ways to personalize your ceremony with the most important people.
And last but not least in this particular segment, I want to bring a point up that we see once in a while, and we always make it a point to tell our brides, and it's simple. Don't get out of the limo or car until you see your photographer or filmmaker is there ready to take your picture. There's a good chance that if they're inside, they're just making sure everything's organized and everything's ready for you to come down the aisle. So save yourself a little bit and make sure you capture that moment, because it's always such a beautiful moment.
It is such a beautiful moment, and that's a great piece of advice. I know we're all anxious to get down the aisle, but relax and enjoy, savor those moments, and live life together in style.